أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه الأخيار أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. لقاؤنا اليوم مع آخر الدرس من التوابع. قد رأينا من التوابع النعت، رأينا التوكيد، رأينا العطف، ثم اليوم إن شاء الله سنقرأ معا في موضوع البدل، وهذا يكون آخر درس من التوابع. التوابع كما سبق أن ذكرت لكم الأربع عبارة عن 4 أشياء. التوابع عبارة عن 4 أشياء، فهذه الأربع هي النعت وقد رأيناه، والبدل العطف وقد رأينا هذا أيضا، والعطف رأينا هذا أيضا، واليوم نقرأ آخر شيء وهو البدل. When we say البدل in Loga, in everyday language, it means substitute. البدل means substitute. So when, let's take a football pitch for instance, when you are bringing in a player and you are taking a player out, this player going on the pitch is called the badal. The one being taken off the pitch is called mubdal minhu. Mubdalu minhu. Mubdalun minhu. So we have badalun and mubdalun minhu. Okay, the substitute and the substituted. So that is basically what the topic of al-badal is about, and it being the last of the at-tawabi. At-tawabi, as I've said, there are 4. You have the an-nat, al-atf, at-tawqid, and then al-badal. Today we look at the last one of the at-tawabi. And basically the idea of at-tawabi, they are nouns that come after a noun and they take the i'rab of the noun they come after. Okay, as we've been seeing so far. So al-badal, our topic today, substitute or substitution. Okay, say hadara akhuka hasanun. Hadara akhuka hasanun. From the meaning, you would even realize the concept of the substitution that we are talking about. Imagine the akhuka is the only one there, Hasan is not there. I tell you, hadara akhuka. Halas, your brother is present or your brother has come. It's okay. But when I say hasanun, it's the same akhuka. I'm just saying your brother has come, Hasan. Or let me say your brother Hasan has come. So the Hasan is a replacement for your brother. Your brother equally replaces Hasan. Since they are the same, we call the second noun that you've mentioned as badal, as a replacement. So when I say hadara akhuka Hasan, Hasan is not any additional thing. It's just a noun that equally can replace the akhuka. Jamil. So in this case, akhuka is what we will call the mubdal minhu, and the Hasan will be the badal. But in i'rab, hadara is the fi'l, akhuka fa'il, hasanun becomes the badal. Of course, the complete i'rab, you know it. Akhuka will be, akhu will be the fa'il, wa huwa mudaf, and the kaf will be damir muttasil, fi mahalli jar mudaf ilay. Hasanun will be badal, marfu' wa alamatu raf'ihi ad-damma, because it is badal min al-fa'il. Jamil. So hadara akhuka Hasan, your brother Hasan is present, or your brother Hasan has come. It says amaltu tajira khalilan. Amaltu, amala bimana to deal with, to have a dealing with, to deal with, not to beat somebody or something like that. Amala bimana for a muamala to be between the two of you. So I met, I'm in a business and you come and then we have a business meeting, we have a muamala. That is ana amaltuka, yani I dealt with you, I had a dealing with you. So when he says amala tajira, amaltu tajira khalilan, the tajir is the same khalil. Okay, it's just that here he mentions a tajir and here he mentions his actual name. So he can equally say amaltu tajira, he can say amaltu khalilan. It's fine. So khalilan that he mentions becomes the badal. Jamil. Khalil is the person's name. Asghaytu ila al-khatibi aliyin. Asgha, to pay attention to keep quiet and listen to. That is asgha. That is the verb. Isgha is the noun. Isgha is the noun, is the masdar. So asghaytu ila al-khatibi, yani I paid attention to the preacher. A khatib is the person giving the khutbah. I paid attention to the preacher and he is Ali. The man, I paid attention to the preacher, Ali. So I could equally say I paid attention to Ali or I paid attention to the preacher. Jamil. So Ali here is the badal. Jamil. Tahashama Abul Hawli Anfuhu. Tahashama Abul Hawli. Abul Hawl, his nose has broken. Okay. But what does it say? Tahashama Abul Hawl. Let's say he stopped here. Abul Hawl has been smashed. Tahashama bimana to be smashed or to be broken. Abul Hawl has been smashed or has been broken. But you know, of course, that is not the meaning, what he actually wants. What the person speaking actually intended that his nose has been broken. Jamil, his nose has been broken. So he said, Tahashama Abul Hawl. And then he realizes that no, not the whole of the Abul Hawl has been broken, but just his nose. So he says, Tahashama Abul Hawl Anfuhu, his nose. Abul Hawl has been broken or has been smashed, his nose. Okay, that is also a type of badal. Qadaytu dayna, qadaytu ad-dayna. I paid the debt. You might think I paid all, then I will say thulthahu, 1/3 of it. Okay, 1/3 of it. Qadaytu ad-dayna thulthahu. There is something I wanted to mention. Okay, the Abul Hawl is actually the name of the statue. I think one of my pictures, I have this picture in Cairo with that statue. That statue that looks like the body is made into the lion body and the head is a king's head at the pyramids in Giza. When you go to Giza in Egypt, when you look at the pyramids or even when you search online, the pictures of the pyramid, you realize that there is another statue, just a head, and the body is made into like an animal lying down. That is what they call the Abul Hawl. They call it the Sphinx. The Sphinx. So, and the Sphinx, of course, in reality, today, the nose of the Sphinx is broken. Even if you look at the pictures, you realize it. So that is what they intended with the Tahashama Abul Hawl. Yani the Sphinx has broken, but not the whole of the Sphinx, but then its nose. Anfuhu, its nose. Okay. So qadaytu dayna thulthahu. I paid the debt, 1/3 of it, 1/3 of it. Nazartu ila safinati. I looked at the ship. Shira'iha. The shira' of the safina, when you say shira' al-safina, you mean its sail, S-A-I-L. This is that thing they tie, it's like a cloth, okay? They will tie it on the ship, make it into some rectangular shape. And I don't know, I think it takes wind. I think it captures the wind or something, and it helps it to sail in balance. When you look at any ship at all, you realize there is this pole standing in there, and there is a cloth hanged upon it. That is the shira, that is the sail. So that is what he actually looked at. But then it's a safina, it's a part of the safina. So when you say nazartu ila safinati shira'iha, I looked at the safina, the ship, its sail. So here you realize that the badal here is a part of the mubdal minhu. Anfuhu, the anf is a part of the Abul Hawl. Thulthahu is a part of the dain, the debt. D-E-B-T, the debt you are supposed to pay. The 1/3 is a part of it. The shira' is a part of the safina. So here the badal is ba'd min al-mubdal minhu. Be paying attention to these things. Here the badal was the whole of the mubdal minhu, because Hassan is the akhuka, Khalil is the tajir, the Ali is the khatib. So here it was kullu al-badal huna kullu mubdal minhu. It's the whole of the mubdal minhu. But when we look here, the badal is the ba'dun min al-mubdal minhu. It's a part of the mubdal minhu. And then we come to the last chamber. He says, تضوع البستان أريجه. تضوع, to diffuse. To diffuse some scent. Okay. تضوع البستان, the garden is diffusing. Of course, the garden itself cannot produce that scent. That diffuse. What diffuses is a smell, is a scent. That is what diffuses, not the garden itself. So he says, arijuhu. Arijuhu yani is fragrance. So the actual thing was tadawwa'a arijul bustan. The fragrance of the garden is diffusing or has diffused. The manner is spreading. Okay. So he said tadawwa'a al-bustan. The garden has diffused. He mentioned the whole of it. Then he says arijuhu is fragrance. Okay. The arij is the fragrance. Sami'tu sha'ira. I heard the poet, inshadahu, his singing, his recitation. Okay, I heard the poet, his recitation. Ajibtu min al-asadi iqdamihi. I'm amazed by the lion. Is iqdam, bravery. Iqdam is just like shaja'a. Iqdam is you taking something up. Okay, that is also a portion of bravery. Shaja'a yani. So when you say Ajibtu min al-asadi iqdamihi, I'm amazed by the lion, is bravery. Okay, Jamil. So here also you realize that the badal, all the badal are something that is a part of the mubdal minhu. But it is not a part that you can take out. Okay, imagine the part here. Look at the badal here. The anf can be taken out of the abul hawl. Jamil. The thulth can be taken out of the dain. Okay. Shira, the sail of the ship, can also be taken out. So they are physical parts. The badal ba'dun min al-mubdal minhu, they are part of it that can be taken out. And then we have these ones too that are part, but then they are actually a mixed part. They are not part that you can take out. So when we say arijul bustan, the smell of the fragrance of the garden is not something physical you can take out. Okay? The fragrance coming out of the garden is not something you can take out of the garden. It's a mixed part of the garden. In short, the singing or the recitation of the poet is not something you can separate from the poet. It's a part of him that is mixed. It's not a part, separable part. It's an inseparable part. When you look at Iqdam, the bravery of the lion, it's a character. It's a part of the asad, but it's not a part that you can separate. It's not a separable part. Jamil? So we have some ba'd here, but this ba'd is not really a part you can separate. So it's mixed with the bustan. You get to understand how they will describe this kind of badal in the bath. I've partly explained almost everything. So you read quickly. البحث إذا نظرت إلى الكلمات الأخيرة في الأمثلة السابقة رأيت كل واحدة منها مسبوقة بكلمة لم تقصد لذاتها. This is the key word. When you look at the words, the ending words, Hassan, Khalil, Ali, Anfuhu, Thulthahu, Shira'ahu, Ariju, Ishadu, Ikdam. If you look at these words, you realize that they are preceded by some words. This word they are preceded by, they are not the intended thing. Okay? As I've explained, the words that come before the badal are not the actual thing that the speaker intended. Lam tuqsad li dhatiha. They were not mentioned for their own self. They are representatives. So, of course, Akhuka is a title of the Hassan. But Hassan is, when I say Akhuka, I intend Hassan. When I say Amaltu Tajira, I dealt with the trader. The trader here, I mean Khalil. When I say Azghaytu ila al-Khatibi, the Khatib here, I mean Ali. Okay, so the actual thing that I intended are the Badal, Hassan, Khalil, Ali, Anfuhu, Thulthahu. Because when I say Qadaytu Dayna, I paid the debt. Of course, it's not the whole debt. So the Thulthahu is what I intended. So the actual thing is Qadaytu Thultha Dayn. So that is what he's saying here. He says, رَأَيْتَ كُلَّ وَاحِدَةٍ مِنْهَا مَسْبُوقَةً بِكَلِمَةٍ. all the badal are preceded by a word. These words لم تقصد لذاتها, they are not the actual intended words. وإنما أتي بها تمهيدا للكلمة التي تليها. But then it was brought, أتي بها. Those words were brought تمهيدا, as a prep, as a preparation, as an introduction. للكلمة التي تليها, for the word that comes after it. So he mentions أخوك just to clear the way for Hassan. Because when I say Hadara Hassan, you might still not, there is no emphasis there that it is actually Hassan, your brother. But what if I say Hadara Akhuka Hassan? Then I've cut everything. So the Akhuka kind of clear the way or lay the carpet for me to mention what is actually intended, which is Hassan. So the words that come before the badal, they are actually a tamheed, a muqaddimah, okay, an introduction. للكلمة التي تليها, for the word that comes after it, which is the badal. فإنك إذا قلت, because if you should say حضر أخوك, your brother has come. لم يكن ذكر حضر أخوك حسن, if you say حضر أخوك حسن, your brother Hassan has come. لم يكن ذكر الأخ مقصودا لذاته. The mention of akh is not really intended for the akh itself. The akh is a representation of Hassan. That is what he will tell us right now. He says, وَإِنَّمَا الْمَقْصُودُ بِالذِّكْرِ هُوَ Hassan. But then the one that we actually intend to mention is Hassan. وَقَدْ ذُكِرَتْ كَلِمَةُ الْأَخْ تَمْهِيدًا لِمَا بَعْدَهَا. But the word al-akh was mentioned in preparation for the Hassan that comes after it. It says, وَلْيَكُونَ الْكَلَامُ أَقْوَى فِي نَفْسِ السَّامِعِ. So that the word you are saying will be more stronger. It will have some kind of emphasis in the ear or in the listening of the listener, the one listening to you. When I say حَضَرَ أَخُوكَ Hassan, it becomes more stronger and specific to the listener. لأنك تنسب فيه الحضور إلى حسن مرتين. Because when you say حضر أخوك Hassan, you've kind of connected Hassan to the hudur, to being present 2 times. One by connecting the hadara to أخوك, which is a representation of Hassan, and one by saying Hassan, mentioning his actual name. So he says, مرة باعتبار أنه أخ, one time by considering him as a brother, ومرة بذكر اسمه, and another time by mentioning his name. So when you say حضر أخوك Hassan, it's like saying حضر أخوك, حضر Hassan, twice. So it becomes more stronger in that manner. It says ومثل ذلك يقال في بقية الأمثلة. And likewise can be said for all the other examples. وتسمى كل كلمة من الكلمات الأخيرة حسن خليل بدلا. All the ending words from Hassan, Khalil to the rest, they are all called badal. They are called badal. It says كما يسمى كل اسم من الأسماء المذكورة قبلها مبدل منه. As I've mentioned, so we have the badal which comes last and the mubdal minhu. وإذا وازنت بين البدل والمبدل منه, if you should compare the badal and the mubdal minhu في الأمثلة الثلاثة الأولى, in the first 3 examples, رأيتهما متساويان في المعنى ومتطابقين. You realize that the badal and the mubdal minhu, they are متساويان في المعنى, they are the same in terms of meaning. وَمُتَطَابِقَيْنِ, and they match each other. So when you say حَضَرَ أَخُوكَ, أَخُوكَ is fully Hassan. عَمَلْتُ التَّاجِرَ خَلِيلًا. التَّاجِرَ, the trader, is Khalil. Khalil is the trader. So they are متساويان. Al-Khatib is Ali. Ali is Al-Khatib. وَمُتَطَابِقَيْنِ, and they match each other fully. ولذلك يسمى البدل فيها بدل مطابقا. It is called بدلا مطابقا. بدل مطابقا is where the بدل fully represents the مبدل منه. In some materials you hear بدل كل من كل. بدل كل من كل. It says بدل مطابق بمعنى a complete بدل. وإذا وازنت بين البدل والمبدل منه في الأمثلة الثلاثة الثانية, if you look at the second group, this batch, be paying attention if you are using the book as we are explaining this batch. It says إذا وازنت بين البدل والمبدل منه في الأمثلة الثلاثة الثانية رأيت أن البدل, you realize that the بدل is بعض من المبدل منه. Realize that the بدل is a part of the مبدل منه. ولذلك يسمى البدل, and so the بدل here is called, ويسمى البدل فيها بدل بعض من كل, and so it is called بدل بعض من كل. That is why I was saying that the بدل مطابق, in some books they will say بدل كل من كل. So this one is called بدل بعض من كل. أما في الأمثلة الثلاثة الأخيرة, for the last three, فإن البدل فيها ليس مطابقا لما قبله. The بدل is not complete representation of the مبدل منه, because أريج البستان is not the same as the bustan. The fragrance is not the same as the garden. Okay, the inshad is not the same as the ashair. It's just something that is a part of him, a character of him or a characteristic of him. ولا بعضا منه, and it's not a part of him, يعني a separable part of him. وإنما هو منطو تحت المبدل منه. منطو بمعنى it is in him. When we say something ينطوي على بمعنى it contains, so it is contained in him. أي وإنما هو, أي وإنما البدل هنا, أي في الثلاثة الأخيرة منطو تحت المبدل منه. It's a characteristic, it's contained in the مبدل منه. وليس جزءا منه, and it's not a separable part of it. ولهذا يسمى البدل في هذه الأمثلة, and so the بدل in these examples are called بدل اشتمال. بدل اشتمال, let me say something يشتمل على, as you've been seeing, يشتمل على بمعنى it contains. So بدل اشتمال is بدل of containing. You mean to say that the inshad, the recitation of the person has that character. It contains that character of recitation. Okay. The fragrance is contained in the garden. It's not something you can separate from the garden. So that one is also called badal istimal. So we've seen three types of badal. Badal mutabiqan, and then you've seen badal ba'dun min kull, and then you've seen badal istimal. Three types of badal. وبالتأمل في البدل والمبدل منه في جميع الأمثلة السابقة وما يشابهها, and when we ponder over the badal and the mubdal minhu in all the examples and any example like it, ترى أن البدل يتبع المبدل منه في إعرابه, of course التوابع, and so يتبع المبدل منه في إعرابه. The badal always follow the mubdal minhu in terms of his إعراب. وأن بدل البعض وبدل الاشتمال يجب أن يتصل كل منها بضمير يطابق المبدل منه. يطابق المبدل منه. So the بدل بعض, بدل البعض and the بدل الاستعمال, these two, they definitely have to come with a pronoun to link them to the mubdal minhu. The pronoun must match the mubdal minhu. That is why he's saying that أن يتصل كل منها بضمير يطابق المبدل منه. A pronoun that matches the mubdal minhu. A pronoun that matches the mubdal minhu. Let's go and confirm if the pronouns are there. أنفه, ثلثه, شراعها, ha referring to the safina, who referring to the dain, who here referring to the haul, abul haul. Arijuhu, the who referring to the bustan, inshaduhu, the who here referring to the ashair, iqdamihi, the domir ha referring to the al-asad. Jamil. Okay. We come to al-qawaid. He says al-badalu tabi'un mumahhadun lahu bidhikri ismin qablahu غير مقصود لذاته. Badal is a tabi' and it's ممهد له بذكر اسم قبله. The part is cleared for it. It is introduced by mentioning a name before it. ممهد له بذكر اسم قبله. It's a tabi' in the first place, and it comes by preparing the road for it. We prepare the road for it by what? By mentioning ismin qablahu, a name before it. And this name, غير مقصود لذاته, we don't intend that particular name. What we intend is the badal. وهو أنواع, and the badal is in types. We have the badal mutabiq, and then we have the badal بعض من كل, and then we have the badal al-istimal, badal istimal. Then he says يجب في بدل البعض والاستمال أن يتصل كل منها بضمير يعود على المبدل منه. As we've just read, the badal istimal and the badal al-ba'd, they must come with a pronoun, and this pronoun links them to the mubdal minhu. بهذا القدر إن شاء الله نكتفي حلقة اليوم، وقد انتهينا من الدرس التوابع. إن شاء الله من الآن ممكن تأخذ أي كتاب في النحو وتقرأ تحت الموضوع التوابع، وإن شاء الله أعرف بكل تأكيد أنك قد فهمت الأربع الموضوعات هذه. نعم إن شاء الله. فإن شاء الله في لقائنا التالي أو في لقائنا الجاي نذهب إلى الموضوع الجديد إن شاء الله. Please do well to share if you've not done so, and do well to subscribe if you've not done so. Do well to leave a like if the lessons have been beneficial to you. Share for others to also benefit. Till we meet again, have a very good Arabic time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.